All right. Just as we did the other day, we'll just start standing nice and tall. Relax, take some deep breaths. Big inhale, big exhale. And let's let these initial breaths be all about releasing tension, letting go. The breath can be as big as we want it to be. That's the beauty of working out at home where no one can hear you, or if they can, they're people who know you really well. Big, big exhales. And as we breathe, just think about your feet grounding into the floor. And then think of lifting your pelvis, your torso, your neck, your head away from your feet toward the ceiling so you get a little taller. Beginning to activate the core. And we're just going to take the head as we breathe and gently turn it side to side. Remembering it's not a stretch, just a release of tension. And you can keep it upright, or if you like, you can turn it into a little forward half circle, chin to chest, alternating direction. And your breath pattern is your own for this one. So it's any breath pattern as long as we're not holding the breath. We're just going to go one more time each way. And then the head is going to lift up, eyes can stay closed, and let's roll the shoulders. Inhale, draw them forward and up. Exhale, back and down. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, back and down. Still standing tall, lifting the torso, the neck, and the head toward the ceiling. Let's do just a few more of these shoulder rolls. How about one more? And with that last roll, let's open up our eyes. So we're just going to come into chair, hands to about mid-thigh, and find cat-cow. Inhale as you arc. Exhale as you round. Just letting go of tension, of kinks in the spine. Letting that movement travel all the way from the tailbone through the neck. Let's do one more. And we'll use this next cat whenever it comes to roll it all the way up. At the top, inhale, arms wide and overhead. And exhale, arms wide and down. Let's do that one more time. And let the eyes come open if they were closed. And just take a stance that's a little wider than your hips. We're just going to start with a chair squat. So we're sitting down and lifting up. Inhale and exhale. Making sure the weight goes back into the heels, that the knees and the toes are pointing in the same direction. And there's a little squeeze of your seat at the top. Not a tuck of the pelvis forward, but just an engagement of those lower seat muscles. Let's take that for 4, 3. We have 2 more. 1 more. And then just like we did on Thursday, let's stand kind of in the center of our space, and we're going to take our left leg, step it out, reach for the floor, and come in and tap. So we reach down and in and tap. And it's an inhale and an exhale. And once you have it, if you want to pick up the pace a little bit, you're certainly welcome to. And if you want to turn that tap into a little side leg lift, you can. And we're just going to go for 4, 3, 2. Let's do one more. And then step it into the center and let's just go the other way. So right leg reaches out and tap it in. Inhale and exhale. Just getting used to the movement first. And then if you like, as on the other side, pick up that pace. And if you want to add that side leg lift, awesome. And we're just going to do 4 more, still in warm-up phase. 3, last 2, last 1, release. Take your left leg back behind you. Take that left arm up over the head, and we're going to do a tap forward and a reach back. Tap and reach. Exhale and inhale. And just like with the previous exercise, if you like, you can pick up the pace a little bit. And if you want to pull the knee through, you can, using that exhale to pull the knee through. And we're going to go 4, 3, last 2. Next time, hold that lunge. Press that left heel toward the floor. Little side bend to your right. Breathe. And then we'll come up and we'll switch sides. So we've got that right leg going back, right arm coming over the head. Tap it forward, reach it back. Tap and reach. Exhale and inhale. And then if you feel like it, you can pull that knee through using that deep exhale, using those low abdominals. And we have 4, 3, 2, last 1. We're going to hold that lunge. Heel presses down, side bend to the left, and breathe. And then come on up and let's pick up our hand weights. So we're using light weights, 2 pound, 3 pound, no more than that, maybe 1. And we're going to take that nice wide second position. So we're going to start with the arms going all the way overhead as we come down and release. We're taking an exhale on the way down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Letting those hips open up. 3 more. Knees and toes are pointing in the same direction. Knees are over the heels. Last 2. Last 1. So let's come into that plie. Arms go out to shoulder height, palms face down. We're just going to do a little bend and press. Bend and press. Keeping those hands in your peripheral vision. Keeping that spine nice and long. Pushing the heels down into the ground. We've got 4, 3, last 2. Next time, hold those arms open and little pulses up an inch through the legs. Arms are just hanging out. Shoulders are back and down, away from the ears. And we're going to breathe for 8, 7, 6, 5. We're going back to that full range of motion for 4. Come up and down. And up. So last time we lowered the arms all the way. If you need to do that for release of the shoulders, awesome. We have 1 more. We're going to hold it here, bend the elbows to 90, and lift the palms to face forward. Let's press overhead. Pull the shoulder blades in and down. Press and pull. Press and pull. Beautiful. Use an inhale and an exhale. Inhale and exhale. 2 more. 1 more. Take those arms back out to shoulder height, palms down, and little pulses through the legs, down an inch, down an inch. If you ever need a break with your arms, they can come to your hips. And we're breathing for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Hold it at the bottom and little circles of the arms back, 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 back for 4, 3, 2, circle forward, 8, 7, 6. I'm with you. 3, 2, 1. And shake the legs out. So if you have a chair or the back of a couch, what have you, this would be the time to kind of pull that in. And put it on whichever side of you is more comfortable. And grab one hand weight. So we're going to take the legs to parallel, all connected from the foot to the inner thigh. Stand up nice and tall. Lift your heels. And then you're just going to bend your knees and slide your spine down that imaginary wall. So we're nice and upright through the torso. And we're just going to start with a little pulse through the knees, squeezing the legs together, breathing as we think about good posture. And that touch on your support, whatever it is nice and light. Let's go for 8, 7, 6, 5. 4 more pulses through the legs. We're going to hold the bent position. Take that arm out to shoulder height in the front. And let's do a little bicep curl and release. Curl and release. Exhale and inhale. So this would be an opportunity, if you need it, to come out of the legs while you keep the arms going. 4, 3, we've got 2 more. And then that arm is going to stay out there, and we're pulsing up an inch through the legs. Let your legs shake. Try to breathe into the burn, embrace the burn. Let's go for 8, 7, 6, 5. 4 more. We're going to get a little relief. We're going to come all the way out. Arm comes over the head, and then slide back down that imaginary wall. Exhale up, inhale down. Exhale up, inhale down. Keep squeezing those legs together. 3 more. Only coming down as far as we can go with an upright spine. Last one, we're going to hold the bent knee. Arm comes forward, palm faces the floor. Twisting at the waist, pull back and come forward. Pull back and come forward. So my hips are staying completely still, and I'm twisting through that upper body, pulling my shoulder blade toward my spine for 4. If you need a break in the legs, totally okay to take it. Last 2. Last 1. Hold it. 8, 7, 6. If you want to balance. 4, 3, 2, 1. Come up and give the legs a shake. So we're going to keep the weight in the same hand. Angle in toward your support just a little bit. Feet are underneath the hips. Take the same leg as hand behind you. Hand's just going to hang out underneath the shoulder. We're going to do our seesaw hinge. So we rock forward and come up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Your body from head to lifted heel is like a board. Pushing that standing heel into the floor. Let's do 4 more like this. 3 more. We have 2 more. Last one. And then you're going to rock it over into your seesaw hinge and hold. That hand with the weight is going to sweep up and back and do a little tiny pulse up toward the ceiling. Knee of the standing leg is nice and soft. Weight is back in the heel. And we're just pulsing that arm up for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, just 2 more. Hold it here. Now come up about halfway. So you're more on an angle. And this one's pat the head, rub the tummy like. You're gonna bend both limbs, straighten both limbs. Bend, straighten. Bend, straighten. Exhale and inhale. So it takes a while if you need to do just the leg or just the arm first. 4, keep that leg lifted behind you the whole time. Last 2. Last 1. We're gonna bend the leg, keep the arm straight, and little pushes up and back, up and back, up and back. Squeeze the seat right where the hamstring feeds into it. We've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Really shake out that standing leg. So from my perspective, I'm just gonna move my support to the other side. If you need to turn around or move your device, you certainly can, depending on what you're using. And we're just gonna come to that other side. Weight goes in the free hand. This time we're gonna go to V position. So from hip distance parallel, bring those heels together. Lift the heels a couple inches, walk them in until they squeeze into each other, and then bend your knees, sliding down that imaginary wall. And let's find that pulse. Through the knees, down an inch. Thinking about beautiful posture, nice deep breathing, light touch on your support. Letting those thighs begin to burn, begin to shake. Let's go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold the plie. Take that arm out to shoulder height. Pull the shoulder back and down and curl and out. Exhale, inhale. So again, this is that opportunity if you need it to come up out of those legs anytime. Squeeze those heels together. Try to keep that elbow right at shoulder height. We have 4 more. 3 more. Last 2. Last 1. We're gonna hold it here and we're gonna come all the way up. Slide back down. All the way up. Let's lower just to shoulder height unless you need a break. Exhale and inhale. And exhale and inhale. So you're sliding as low as you can go without hinging forward. 4, 3, we have 2 more. We've got 1 more. Come down into that plie, flip that palm to face the floor and pull back with a little twist and reach. So again, your hips are staying totally still. It's like you're twisting through your rib cage, pulling that weighted shoulder blade towards your spine. A little bit of core here. Exhale and inhale. If you ever need a break in those legs, totally fine. Let's do 4 more. Whew. 3. Last 2. 1 more. We're gonna hold it here. Little pulses up an inch, up an inch, up an inch. I don't think we did this on the other side. Let's hold it still. Breathe into the core. Maybe find a balance for 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Bring it up, shake everything out. So last time, I know I used my left side, might look like right side to you. So make sure you're on the opposite side for that seesaw hinge. Weight in the free hand, leg behind, standing knee soft, and we just rock forward and come up. Inhale, exhale. Using that core for support more than you use your chair, couch, whatever it is. Standing knee stays nice and soft. Weight just hangs out underneath that shoulder. Pressing that standing heel into the surface of the floor. Let's do 4 more. 3 more. Last 2. Last 1, full hinge. And then come down into your seesaw hinge and hold. Arm with the weight sweeps up and back toward the ceiling and little pulses. You can exhale every pulse, or you can inhale a few, exhale a few, but keep breathing into that core. Think of lifting from the back of your shoulder. And we have 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 more. We're gonna come up just halfway, standing knees soft, and we're gonna bend both limbs, lengthen, bend and lengthen. Exhale, inhale. Trying to keep that straight connected line through the spine. Leg is lifted. Let's do 4 more. 3. We have 2 more. Standing leg may need a shake out, totally fine. Let's bend the leg, but keep the arm straight and little pulses or presses. Up and back, squeeze. Squeeze, zip up that lower core. Breathe. Let's go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Shake everything out. So if you have a mobile support, move it out of the way. If not, just come in front of your couch or whatever it is that you've got. And let's pick up both weights. So we're gonna take the left leg forward and the right leg back, coming into a lunge position. So bend both knees. Front knee should sit right on top of the heel. Back knee's aiming for the floor. And let's just find a little pulse. Down an inch, down an inch. So when you are ready, we are gonna take those arms, sweep them out to the side, shoulder height, hands in the peripheral. Just breathing. Whew, using that core for balance. And let's go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it low. So bend your elbows and let's do a closing of the arms and an opening of the arms. Close and open. Exhale. Inhale. Let's add the legs. Let's come all the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. 4 more. 3. Last 2. Last 1. Come down into your lunge. Close those arms. Squeeze the elbows toward each other. Arms do a little pulse. Up an inch. Up an inch. This would be an opportunity to shake out the legs again. Let's go 8, 7. Squeeze those elbows toward each other. 4, 3, 2, and release. Let's switch sides. So let's take that right leg forward, left leg back, come down into that lunge. Front knee over the heel, beautiful posture, little pulses. Breathing. Let's go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold that lunge. Bring those arms out into the front this time, palms face down. And let's do a little pull back and press forward. Pull back, press forward. Let's come up and down and up and down. Here's your exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale. I don't know about you, but this workout has me breathless, which is a good thing. 3 more. Last 2. Last 1. Come down into that lunge, arms forward. Hold and breathe. And the arms are gonna rotate, palms toward each other, palms down. Toward each other and down. And you wanna make sure you're turning from the shoulder. It would be really easy to use your wrist or your elbow. Let the whole arm become involved for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's bring it up. We are actually going to come down to the floor. So if you need to clear off your surface, awesome. I'm just going to tilt my camera down just slightly so you can see more of the floor. And we're going to bring our weights with us. So we're coming down to do a little bit of bridge work. Make sure, if you can, that you have some space behind you for your arms to move. So feet are about hip distance apart. Feet are anchored on the floor. Spine is nice and long. Let's take a weight into each hand. And let's just lift ourselves up into bridge, making sure the heels are underneath the knees. We've got weight at the base of the shoulder so the head is nice and free. And let's bring those arms up toward the ceiling and bring the weights toward each other, a little softness in your elbows. And we're just gonna go as far overhead as we can go comfortably and lift back up to the ceiling. Inhale, arms drift over the head. Exhale to come back up. So hips are pressing up toward the ceiling. These weights are light. This would be an opportunity if you have heavier weights. I know some people do, some people don't. You could get heavier weights for this. You could even go, depending on how much experience you have with heavier weights, up to an 8. Let's do 2 more. And then we're gonna take the weights to the hips, gentle touch and little pulses of the hips up toward the ceiling, little tiny up and squeeze. If you didn't want the weights, you could always set them down, but they just add a little bit of extra weight to lift, making the seat work just a little bit harder. Let's go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. We're gonna keep the weights where they are, and we're gonna lower all the way to the floor, press back up. Inhale down, exhale up. Inhale down, exhale up. Just 4 more. Keeping that spine from the chest to the pelvis. Nice and still, long line. Last 2. Next time, hold it up at the top of the bridge. Take those weights in your hands, reach them up toward the ceiling, palms face away from you. We're gonna pull the upper arm down toward the floor and then press back up. Inhale down, exhale up. So again, if you wanted to, you could certainly get heavier weights here. Depending on strength, it could be anything up to actually a 15 for this chest press. That's a little bit of a deviation from bar, more strength, but there's nothing wrong with that. Let's do 2 more. Still working, even if we have light weights. Last one, we're gonna again place those weights on our hips and 1 more round of little pulses. Up an inch, up an inch, up an inch. So today's class is a little more seat heavy as we close. Let's go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. We're gonna give the seat a break with a little bit of core. Come down. If you wanna take a quick hug of your knees up in towards your chest, stretch out those muscles, maybe give it a little rock, side to side. We're gonna take a little classic Pilates sequence with some light weights. So feet come back down to the floor. We're going to find that neutral spine, lining up the ribs with the hips. Find a weight in each hand, and just bring your arms to your sides. So initially the heads of the weights can rest on the floor. Palms are facing the body. Let's take those legs up to the tabletop to start. So knees are 90, hips are 90, lower ribs pressing into the floor. You're going to hover your arms just up above the mat, and then you're going to lift straight up to the ceiling and then lower down to that hover. So we're going to take a lift to the ceiling and lower to a hover. We're going to use an exhale as the arms lift up. Inhale as they slowly come down. Exhale up. Inhale down. Option to lengthen the legs on an angle that challenges your ability to keep your ribs on the floor. If you notice yourself arching, go back to that bent knee. And we're just going to do 4 more. Really breathe that exhale all the way into your low belly. Let's do 2 more. With 1 more. And then bring those legs back to tabletop. Bring the hands back to the hover. And this time, oh, I lied. We're not going to flip our palms. We're going to keep them facing the body. So you're hovering a couple inches off the floor. And now your arms are going to sweep out like they're coming to shoulder height. And then they're going to pull back into your sides. So we have an exhale as we sweep out. Inhale, pull back. Keeping those lower ribs anchored to the floor. And again, if you feel like it, you can add that lengthening of the legs out on an angle, challenging your core from top to bottom. Stay in that neutral. Exhaling as we open, inhaling as we close for 4, 3. We have 2 more. Last one. And release. Let's bring the feet down, set the weights down for a second, maybe hug those knees up and in. Maybe it's a little rock. And then we're going to take the weights back in the hands, feet come to the floor. So the weights are going to go so that you have a weight on either side on the chest, elbows wide. That's going to be our starting point. We're going to take a full breath to lift the head and shoulders, and then it's a crisscross across the body. So you're going to punch the opposing arm toward the outside of your knee. Exhaling on the twist. Inhaling as you come to center. And you want to think about chin toward chest, gaze forward, shoulder blades gently hovering off the mat. And if you need hands behind the head, awesome option. Legs could come up to tabletop. A little extra challenge there, keeping both hips rounded to the floor. Let's go 4, 3, last 2, last 1, release. One more time, hug those knees up in toward the chest. Maybe take that little rock if you want it. And then we're actually going to come up and over onto all 4s. So I'm going to take a weight in one hand. Wrists are underneath the shoulders. Knees are right underneath the hips. So I have my weight in my right hand. Whichever hand has the weight, that leg is going to go, I lied. The opposite leg is going to go back behind you Saturday morning. So we're going to start with that opposite leg, toe curled under, anchored to the floor. Weighted hand goes out to the side, and then it just lowers halfway to the floor. Lift up, come down. Exhale up, inhale down. So we already feel the core working to stabilize us since we only have one limb on either side fully anchored. Palm is facing the wall behind. If you feel like it, you can take that opposing leg and lift it up for a little extra core challenge. The arm is still moving up and down. We have 2 more with the arm. And then we're going to hold the arm up nice and still, and the leg is going to do a little pulse up an inch. So if you wanted to take the arm down for a little extra balance, you would just set the head of the weight down on the floor. Leg is doing that little pulse, squeezing right where the hamstring and the seat come together for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 more. Hold the leg up there or put the toes down. And the arm is going to do a bend at the elbow, press out. Bend and press. Bend and press. Just like we did standing. If you have the leg lifted and you want to do a hamstring curl and lengthen, curl and lengthen, you can. If you prefer just to do the leg, you could bring the head of the weight down. There are tons of options here. 4, 3, we have 2 more. Last one, and lower the limbs. Let's find a quick child's pose, hips to heels. Take a nice deep breath in and out. So you don't have to turn around. I'm just going to turn around so that you can still see me. So switch sides. The weight now goes into the opposite hand. Whichever leg is opposite your weighted hand, that goes back behind with the toes curled under. We start just with the arm. It goes out to the side, and then it comes in halfway. Exhale up, inhale down, keeping the core engaged, keeping the shoulders and the hips square to the floor. That arm is coming up, palm is facing the wall behind us. So we're working the back of the shoulder, upper back. If you feel like it, for the last few, that leg can come up off the floor, that opposing leg. Core is just going to work a little bit harder. When you're ready, let's hold the arm out to the side, and the leg is going to do a little pulse, up, up. If you want, arm comes down, head of the weight resting on the floor. Squeezing right where the hamstring and the seat come together. Ooh, let's go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 more. Leg can stay up or it can come down, and that arm is going to come out and bend at the elbow. Press, bend, and press. Inhale and exhale. If you feel like it, leg can bend, hamstring curl, release, curl, release. You can always choose just to do the arm or just to do the leg. And I just said the opposite of what I did. You get the idea. Let's go 4, 3, last 2, last 1, and release the weight. Let's go back to a wide-kneed child's pose. So just open your knees, let your arms walk forward. Let the head totally release. Nice little stretch for the inner thighs. And then let's add the upper body into this. So take your arms and walk them out a little bit farther than you normally would. And then press the undersides of your arms down toward the floor. You should feel your shoulder blades draw away from your spine. Nice stretch. And then we're going to keep the hips right on top of the heels and just walk the torso to the left. We get an extra stretch on that right side. Come through center, walk the torso to the right, getting a nice extra stretch on that left side. Come to center. Let's use the core, gently bring it up to seated. You can stay kneeling or you can bring your legs around to cross-legged. Let's take the palms forward, reach the arms back, open up the chest, stretching out that front side of the upper body. So if you are able to bring the heels of the hands together, you can lace your fingers, press the heels of the hands together, and open this way. Another great option to get a little deeper is just to set your hands down behind you and use the hands to press the chest forward through the shoulders. So you got 3 really nice options. And then we'll release. We'll sit up nice and tall. Let's swing the legs around in front, extending them out. Sitting as tall as we can. If you need to start with some softness in your knees, that's totally fine. Nice long spine. Just slowly begin to reach it forward. You can think of pressing energy out through the soles of your feet, reaching your tailbone back behind you, breathing the whole time. And then just let yourself release forward over your legs. Relax the neck. Sometimes it's nice to kind of walk your sitting bones back behind you. And you can always use your hands outsides of calves or feet to draw you in a little deeper to your stretch. We'll be feeling this in our calves, in our hamstrings, back of the leg. And then use that core, gently roll it up. So we're gonna bend both knees, take the hands back behind, gentle support. Just gonna take your left ankle, cross it over your right thigh, pull your right heel towards your hip, and then use your hands to walk your chest in and to lengthen. So we're stretching that outer hip. You could always do this on your back, traditional figure 4. So whichever variation works best for you. When you're ready, we'll switch sides. So walk it out to switch. Left heel comes in. Using the hands or maybe on the back, pulling in. And then we're just gonna come down onto one forearm. Doesn't matter which one. Elbows right underneath that shoulder. You could also lay all the way down if you like. Grab the top ankle or the top of the foot and gently start to draw your leg back as you press your hip forward. So we're getting a nice stretch through the front of the hip, front of the thigh. Breathing. Pressing those hips forward. There's always a little bit more that we can do in this particular stretch. And then let's come up and let's just switch sides. Finding that shoulder and elbow aligned, top ankle, drawing the thigh back, pressing the hip forward. That time. And releasing. Let's just come up to a comfortable seated position. Sit up nice and tall. Close the eyes. Take that right ear over toward the right shoulder. We'll release for the neck. Let's switch sides. Left ear toward left shoulder. Lifting the head. Let's just roll the shoulders 3 times. Inhale forward and up. Exhale back and down. Big inhale up. Exhale down. Let's do that one more time. And then let's just close with 3 deep breaths. Arms sweep wide and over the head on the inhale. Exhale wide and down. Big inhale. Draw in all the good thoughts, positive energy. Exhale, release anything that doesn't serve. One more. And we're done. Let me come over and unmute.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. Do you have any exciting plans